Hello everybody, today is Sunday. It is October 17th, 2010. I know yesterday I started this vlog and I actually ran it into about 6.5 minutes. I really want it to be much shorter than that. I really want it to be under maybe 3 to 4 minutes tops, depending on, of course, what I have to say. Mostly I typically have not much to say, so they should be fairly short. Yesterday I was discussing being in the silence, a quiet place, specifically when I was at adoration, how it really kind of affected me in the sense of the silence itself shocking me so much and reminding me of how good it is. I've always, I feel that sometimes God speaks to you, whether you're listening or not. And I feel that throughout my day-to-day, God had maybe been speaking to me, and even maybe building up this whole weekend, and even from last night. So I was at Mass today. Two things struck me. Well, technically 3 things struck me. The first one was, in the second reading, "You have known the sacred scriptures, which are capable of giving you wisdom for salvation." I often read the Bible, and I know that there's a lot of information in there, but I forget how profound and powerful that information can be, especially if you bring it into your prayer. The next thing that struck me was, so the priest discussed the necessity for praying without becoming weary, and he talked about how a lot of people's prayer lives go through 3 major flows, 3 major movements, if you will. The romance, being in stagnation or disillusionment, being and staying, hopefully staying, in pure joy. The romantic part of the prayer has kind of died off for me, in a sense, in that I know that I'm not a newlywed to this whole prayer thing. I mean, I've done it not, I'm not very old, I guess, but I've done it enough to kind of start slipping into that disillusionment. That's where that whole not becoming weary with your prayer life, not becoming disillusioned, the gospel passage warns about that. And it just really struck me because I'm there. I really have to admit that, I'm there. I have all these different tools for prayer and different methods of praying, and yet I become disillusioned, and it worries me, but I'm glad that I'm aware of it, if you know what I mean. I guess people become disillusioned because, and I know that I did, because of like the length of prayer, or the fact that you feel that you have to pray. He was saying it's not about what tools you use. He went over several, like Lectio Divina, imaginative prayer, some type of awareness examine. But he says people often forget the most simple and most fundamental form of prayer. You sit there and you get comfortable, you close your eyes or you don't, but you just sit there and listen. You are quiet. He says it's so hard to shut up in your own mind. That was so profound to me. That was so appropriate with what I've been experiencing this weekend, about just being in the moment and shutting up yourself verbally and even mentally to some extent. Being able to just listen to God for 30 seconds, for 1 minute, for 15 minutes, for half hour, for however long you can. We often forget to do that, and I know that I definitely am one of those people where I feel like I have so much to dump onto Jesus, jump onto God when I want to pray or when I'm going to pray. I forget that it's as simple as listening to God sometimes and just sitting there. And it just really seemed to mesh well with the experience I had yesterday in adoration, where I was just taken back by the stillness, the calmness, the utter silence, that it was so quiet in there that it made me shut up. It made me shut up in my own mind to just listen. Well, that's all I really wanted to share tonight. I thank you for taking the time again to watch this vlog, and I pray that you have a great week, and I will aim to make these things shorter and more poignant. I bid you farewell, and I bid you good night. Au revoir.